So getting started by getting centered, please sit comfortably. Relax your shoulders down your back and feel the crown of your head lift toward the ceiling. And if it feels okay for you, let your eyes close. And just take a few deep breaths in to help you ground. So full breath in, feel the lungs and belly fill, and then exhale, let it all go. And you may even want to sigh audibly with that exhale. Sighing actually signals to your nervous system to calm down. It's a great tool to use when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or anxious. And notice as you're grounding in here, what's going on in your body? What feels tight? What feels sore? What feels tensious? Or what areas are holding stress? And you might actually be able to get some relief for those parts of your body through our practice this evening. Maybe setting that as an intention to do so. And then also be aware of the current quality or state of your mind. What residue has joined you from earlier today? What anticipation is present for the future? Where is there stress? Where is there tension? Just like the body, maybe even some soreness in your mind. And just like the body, we might be able to bring some relief to these parts of your mind, the ones that are holding these experiences. So if you're stressed, we might be able to bring that down a bit. If you're anxious, we might be able to help soothe that. If you're depressed, we might be able to help bring some of that energy up. Really allowing this class from an open space inside of you to be something that can serve you, that can help you. Good. So when you're ready, take a deeper, fuller breath and bring your palms to your heart and lower the chin. Just taking a moment again to honor yourself as you are in this moment, your body, your breath, your energy, your mind. From this place within you that we'll practice tonight, go ahead and rub the palms together, creating heat. Take those warm and stimulated palms over your eyes. And then brushing back over the top of your head and down your neck, bringing yourself back to the space around you. Welcome back. And we're going to come onto our abdomens to start tonight. So move any props off to the sides and come to lay down on your belly. We don't always start here, but tonight we do. So taking your time with this transition, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows bending. Let's start by warming up the core and lower back a little bit, getting into the shoulders a bit here too. So again, with the hands underneath your shoulders, squeeze the elbows in towards your sides. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, peel the head and heart away from the floor, cobra pose. And then exhale, release down. Good. Feeling your pelvis ground with your next inhale. Roll the shoulders down the back, lift the head, the chest, and your legs off the floor, coming into locust pose. And then exhale, release down. Keeping your legs on the ground. Inhale, lift the head and chest, coming into cobra pose. Elbows stay bent here. And then exhale, release. Then grounding the pelvis, lift the head, chest, and legs, locust pose. And exhale, release. We're going to continue moving between these two postures, keeping the legs on the ground, cobra, inhale. Exhale down. Grounding your pelvis, lift the legs with the head and chest, locust. Exhale, release down. Cobra inhale, just the head and chest. And down. Locust inhale. And down. Good. One more time for each posture. Cobra lift, inhale. And down. Locust rise, inhale. And exhale, release down. You can turn the head to a side, just feel sensation for a moment. Starting to warm up the back body a little bit here. And turn the head to the opposite side. Good. Now from here, go ahead and come up onto your elbows. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders or just a little bit further forward. And you're pressing the forearms and hands into the floor, pulling the shoulders down the back. And it's like you're trying to take the navel and stretch it toward the top of your mat. Good. Sphinx pose. Good. Now in Sphinx pose, cross your right arm in front of you. This will free up your left hand and arm for something here in just a moment. So the right arm crossing in front of you, bend your left knee, bring the left heel in towards your seat. With your left hand, reach back and grab hold of the base of your toes. So not the ankle, not the foot, but the base of the toes themselves. Now, once you have that connection, your left hip is going to pop up off the floor. So I'm going to ask you to roll that left hip back down and start to guide your left ankle, your left heel, sorry, into your left hip. And you'll feel the top of the left thigh stretch. And you might have feelings about that. Try to keep the chest lifting here. Keeping the heart light. Feeling the stretch in the leg. Good. Now don't slingshot the foot to the floor. Carefully release it. And bring your left arm in front of you. Feel sensation in that left leg, especially in comparison to the right side, which we have yet to do. And then go ahead and replace your right arm with your left arm. And again, this is keep the chest lifting up a bit here. Bend your right knee, bringing the right foot in toward your right hip. And then with the right hand, reach back and grab hold again of the base at the base of the toes. Now, once you have that connection, the right hip is going to pop up a little bit. So exhale, roll that hip back down, and then draw the heel in toward your seat. And as we're doing the second side, you might just notice if there's a difference in sensation here for the stretch. Rounding the hip, pulling the heel in. Maybe this is a tighter thigh. Maybe it's a more open thigh. And maybe you're not sure, and that's okay too. Either way, take some deep breaths. Keep the chest lifting. We're almost done. And again, don't slingshot it, but carefully release that right foot down to the floor, cross the right arm in front of you, and just bring the forehead to the back of the arms for a moment so you can feel sensation from that last exercise. Good. All right. So from here, I'm just going to ask you to roll onto your right side. You're going to roll onto your right side so your hips stack and that your feet stack on top of your feet stack as well. Sorry, not finding my language tonight. And I'm just have my elbow bent for my right arm, just supporting my head here. And my left hand is grounding to the floor in front of me so that I don't fall over, ideally. Okay, we're just going to do some work here for the hip flexors. So go ahead and flex both feet. Then inhale, lift the left leg straight up, not forward, not back, but straight up. And then exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring it up, and exhale down. Inhale up and down. Keep going. It's like one of those exercise videos from the late 80s. Lift up and down. They were onto something. Lift up and down, up, down, up, down. Two more times. And bring it on down. Good. Now let's go to the other side. Just roll forward onto your belly and roll onto your left side. I'm going to turn around to face you, but you can just keep facing the direction you're in right now. Again, the hip stack, the leg stack. You're supporting the head with the left hand, your right hand in front of you. Flex both feet and right leg lifts and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Going straight up and down, not out to the sides at all. Breathe. We're almost there. A few more times, please. One more time. And bring it down. Good. Oh, wait, there's more. So I'm going to have you roll onto your belly, come back to the first side, please. Again, I'm going to swing around on my mat to face you, but you can just roll over. Good. So doing more work for the hip flexors. So same starting position, legs, hips stacking, and you're supporting the head with your right hand, left hand in front of you. Now, your left leg is the one on top. So go ahead and point those toes away from you. Point the toes. Good. You're going to lift the leg up as high as you can and start to make some circles with that leg. Taking it back and forward. That left hand on the floor is going to come in handy here. And try to keep your body steady. So there is some core engagement happening. So don't throw the leg so far back or forward that you fall. It's okay to stay where you're working at. Drawing circles. Now you're going in a specific direction right now. Just notice what that is. And then go the other way. Whew, feel this. I promise we're going to do some counter posing for this one. We're building strength in that hip flexor and of course the core as well here. Few more times, few more rotations. Unclench your jaw. Good, one more time. And relax it down. Huh. Legs are getting tired. All right, go ahead and roll to your belly and over to your left side. I know we have to do the other side, I'm sorry. Good. Once you feel ready and supported, go ahead and point your right toes away from you. Lift the leg up and let's start to make some circles. Whichever direction you want to go in first is up to you because we're going both ways. And because we're working asymmetrically, one side at a time, you might notice if this side feels more accessible or more sore. Breathe. Again, core is engaged here so that you don't sway too much. And notice the direction you're going in right now and go the other way. I know we're almost there. Keep going. Let it burn a little bit. It's all right. I promise. 3, 2, and 1. Relax the leg down. We're gonna have jelly hips by the time we're done tonight. Go ahead and roll to your belly for a moment and just feel sensation. You can cross the arms and bring the forehead to the back of the arms if you'd like. Feeling sensation. Helping to create that stability in your hips tonight. And if there is some soreness or tiredness from that last exercise, just imagine with your deep breaths, you can send some relief through the breath to those points, dissolving that tension. Good. And then sliding your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl the toes under, push the floor forward to push up to hands and knees, and lift the hips into the air, coming into downward facing dog. Good. Now, especially after the work we've done so far, let's walk the dog out of it, pressing a heel to the floor, bending the opposite knee, feeling length in the legs and also in your spine. Noticing where there's tension, noticing where there's not tension. Breathing steadily, all the same. Good. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Release the feet and sink back into child's pose. Seat to the heels, forehead down. Taking an adjusting breath. Good. When you're ready, we're going to come back up to hands and knees, please. Table pose. Doing a little bit more for the legs and a little bit more for your core as well here. So I'll demonstrate it really quickly for you because there's some things I don't want you to do here. So from hands and knees, my toes are curled under, and I'm just going to extend one heel back as I straighten the leg, and I'm feeling a nice stretch in this hamstring here. And then I'll bring the knee down, and then I'll do the other side. And we'll just do this for a few rounds. Now, after we've done that for a few rounds, we're going to make the switch at the same time. So as a knee lifts, the other knee comes down. And there's a stability in the core that's created. Now, what I'm not doing here is banging my knees into the floor as I switch. As you can imagine, that's not good for you. And so you want to do it with control from your core, from your center. And that might mean you have to slow it down a bit, okay? But we'll get started with just the individual movements, and then we'll add that integration. So from hands and knees, toes curled under, go ahead and extend your right heel back. Feel the stretch in the back of that leg for a breath. And then bring the right knee down. Go ahead and extend the left heel back. Feeling a stretch in that leg. This is great to do if you like to run. Then bring the left knee down. Right leg extends. And then bring the knee down. Left heel extends back. And then we're going to try the switch. Okay, so as you bring the left knee down, extend the right heel back. And then switch. And then switch. 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 Try to keep the core steady. My upper body is not moving really at all here. Everything's happening from the hip flexors downward. Switch, switch, switch.
Just a few more times. Keep going. 3, 2, and 1. Downward facing dog. Lift both knees. Extend back. Good. This might feel like a different down dog after that hamstring work we just did. Good. With your next inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Bend the elbows in toward your waist. Bring the chest down to the floor and release your hips back, coming back down onto the belly. Hands are underneath the shoulders, elbows bent. Feel the pelvis ground. Lift the head, chest, and legs, locust pose. And then exhale, float back down. Curl the toes under and walk the knees forward toward your body a bit so the hips come into the air. And then push up to hands and knees. And once again, downward facing dog. Good. Staying here for a breath. And then from here, walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into the standing forward fold. Knees are slightly bent here. Just drape the upper body down over the legs. Release the arms, release the head, chin dropping in towards your throat. And in this forward fold, if you'd like to, you can grab opposite elbows, waterfall pose, and breathe. Good, and then bend your knees a little bit more and begin to roll yourself all the way up to standing, stacking the spine one vertebrae at a time. The chin is the last to lift. Good. Welcome to standing. Feeling what's here. So we've really gotten into the legs so far, and so we need to warm up other parts of the body as well. So let's do a little bit of work for your shoulders, actually. And this is everything's connected, as you're probably aware of at this point. And so when we work the shoulders, as we're about to do, we're also getting into the chest, the shoulder blades, the upper back, and we're also getting into these muscles around the neck on all sides of the neck, okay? And so this is one to do that tends to be either a crowd pleaser or people tend to hate it. You can have your own opinion of it, but what's true is that it always works, all right? So standing tall, just let your shoulders and arms hang heavy next to you, okay? And then you're gonna shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, squeeze them up. Take your shoulders back behind you now, squeeze the shoulder blades together, feel the chest open, bring the shoulders back down to neutral, and then shrug your shoulders forward, feel the upper back open, draw the shoulders up towards your ears, squeeze them up, shrug them up, take them back, open the chest, and then down. Okay, so it's kind of like that plus sign motion. Forward directly, upward directly, back directly, and then straight down. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Keep going. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. And as we keep moving, you'll start to notice probably some points of tension in your shoulders and your neck start to come to the surface. Now, if you've gotten a massage and your massage therapist is like, those are knots you have in your shoulders. Well, those are knots you have in your shoulders. And if we keep moving the shoulders around like this, we start to massage those knots or points of tension out of the shoulders. Now you can keep going in this plus sign motion, forward, up, back, and down. You could also start to make it a fluid circle, like you're rowing some oars on a boat. fluidly moving up, back, down, forward, up, back, down. If that just starts to feel weird, you can go back to kind of like the more directional movement. Feeling this movement, just moving tension out of the shoulders. And you might start to feel some fatigue, just like we felt in the hip joints earlier. That's okay. But also, just like the hip joints earlier, we have to go in both directions. So go ahead and circle back one more time. Drop the shoulders and arms down to neutral. Feel sensation for a moment. And then we'll go the other direction. We'll start with the more directional movement, plus sign. So take the shoulders back, open the chest, and then shrug the shoulders up toward the ears. Then bring them forward, open the back, and then bring the shoulders down. Back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down. Keep going, back, up, forward, down. Please breathe as you move. Because we're moving in a different direction, we're actually engaging some new muscles here that weren't engaged on the first direction or in the first direction. And so there might be all new points of tension that are coming up in the shoulders. And again, as those points come up, we know they're coming up to be let go of. And to let go of them, we have to keep moving. Good. Now you can, again, keep moving in this more directional movement, or you can start to make it more of a fluid circle, rolling back and up, forward and down, rolling back and up, forward and down. I want you to breathe here. Those of you who come to chair yoga, we do this sometimes in chair yoga. Also says you can do this in the chair if you need to sometimes. I'm going to keep going for a little bit longer. Forward or back, up, forward and down, back, up, forward and down. 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Whew. You might start to feel some heat in the chest, the neck, the shoulders. Might feel like there's more space in the neck and shoulders. That's my own experience. I'll mention here, but like that one, it's not always my favorite one to do because it always does bring something up. But it is always powerful. Like I've never done that and not got something out of it. So it's one of those things you do because you know it's going to help. It's kind of like taking some cough syrup that doesn't taste great but helps you heal. That's exactly what that one is. Now, for this next exercise, we're going to work to actually self-massage the backs of our necks. And I haven't taught this one in a while, so I'm actually kind of excited to bring it back in. And so I'll turn around in a moment to show you what's going on back there, but I want to show you what I'm doing with my hands first. So I'm going to interlace my fingers like so. And I'll eventually bring my hands to the back of my head. So when at the back of the head, you're going to have your thumbs and you're going to have the base of the thumbs as well. And you're going to use these muscles, these parts of the body, to start to massage tension from the occipital region, this triangle here, down toward the tops of your shoulders, okay? So I'm going to kneel down in front of the camera, but you can stay standing, or you could even sit for this one if you want to come down. Good. You can see me? All right, good. So again, I'm interlacing my fingers. And again, I'm going to use the base of the thumbs and the thumbs themselves to massage here. So starting with the triangle, the occipital region at the top of the neck, I'm just going to start to squeeze the base of the thumbs from the bottom of the triangle up to the top. When I say triangle, I mean the soft portion of the neck right here, where the spine connects to the skull. So starting on the outside, squeezing inwards. Starting on the outside, squeezing inwards. This is great to do if you have a tension headache or if you're having migraines. Now, we're just going to go up and down the neck here. And I want you to notice where there's tension, and you can always go back and do more at that region. So starting at the top, you can start to work your way down the column of the neck toward the base of the neck, the tops of the shoulders. Now, so far we've been using the base of the thumbs for this. If you start to notice some more acute tension, you can actually use the thumbs as pincers and squeeze in a bit more directly, isolating specific regions of muscle. That can get a little tiring for the thumbs after a while, so if that's not working for you, go back to the base of the thumbs instead. Squeezing in. You might switch off back and forth. We're going to go for another minute or so. If your arms start to feel fatigued, you can take a break for a moment. Breathe. Breathe. Now we're going to end here in just a moment, and know that if there's more attention that's needed here in the neck, that you now have the knowledge to come back to it. All right. So just give the neck a wipe down when you're ready. Release the arms and feel sensation. The head might feel lighter. You might actually feel better circulation in the column of the neck, or at least the back of the neck, that is. And again, there still might be some spaces that still need your attention, but now you know what to do to go back to them to care for yourself in the way that you need to. Good. So take a deeper, fuller breath in and bring yourself back. Again, one of my favorite ones that was actually taught to me by a massage therapist, and I'm very integrative in my yoga teaching. If I find something that I like that feels holistic, I'll bring it in for you. So we're going to move into a quick sun salutation, nothing too crazy tonight, because we're getting close to kind of starting to wrap things up a bit here. So go ahead and step to the top of your mat, whichever direction that is for you, and stack your feet underneath your hips. Good. Bring your palms to your heart. Your shoulders are already relaxed, so feel them relax down the back. The head feels light, especially after that neck massage. Good, and we'll begin to move. With your next inhale, sweep your arms down, back, and up. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, swan dive, fold forward and down. Press palms to shins, come halfway up, inhale, looking at the floor. And then exhale, release down. Please step your right foot way back and bring the right knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up, coming into a crescent lunge, opening the heart toward the ceiling. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Sweep your left leg back, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Bend your elbows in toward your waist. Bring the chest to the floor and release the hips. When you're ready, locust pose. Lift the head, chest, and legs. Inhale. And exhale, float down. Good. Curl the toes under. Bring the knees forward, hips into the air. Push up to hands and knees. And lift into downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. Good. And then from downward facing dog, lift your right leg into the air. And then swing or carry step the right foot between the hands. All right, get it all the way forward and bring the left knee down to the floor. If your foot didn't make it all the way forward, reach out and grab it and help it through. Good. When you're ready, crescent lunge, lift the arms forward and up. Exhale, hands down, step forward, standing forward fold. Pressing palms to shins again, come halfway up, please. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. And palms sweep down to the heart. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms down and up. And exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Palms to shins. Exhale, fold down. Please step your left foot back. Knee to the floor, crescent lunge, inhale, come on up. And exhale, hands down. Take your right leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees, bend the elbows, bring the heart to the floor, and release the hips. Locust rise, inhale, head, chest, and legs. And exhale, fold down, curl the toes under, bring the knees forward, hips up, push up, and back to downward facing dog. All right, in down dog, lift the left leg high, and exhale, step it through. Back knee to the floor. Inhale, come up for the crescent lunge. And then exhale, bring the hands down and step forward, standing forward fold. Palms to shins. And down. Sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up, inhale. And palms to your heart. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Palms to shins halfway up. Exhale, release, right foot steps. Back knee to the floor, crescent lunge, inhale, turn the heart toward the ceiling. Good, exhale, hands down, sweep the left leg back, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, come down onto hands and knees. Exhale, chest press, release the hips back. Locust rise with your inhale, head, chest, and legs. Exhale, fold down, curl the toes under, bring the knees forward, hips up, push up, and back, downward facing dog. Your right leg lifts this time. Step it on through. Foot between the hands. Back knee to the floor. Again, crescent lunge, lifting up. Exhale, bring the hands down and step forward. Palms to shins. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up, inhale. And palms to the heart. We're going to change things up just a little bit here this time. Sweep the arms up, inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway up. And down. Step the left foot back this time. Knee to the ground. Crescent lunge, lift the arms up. This time, exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Straighten your right leg and pull the right toes toward you. You'll feel this big stretch in the back of the right leg. Let's stay for 2 breaths. Good. Then inhale, rock forward. Exhale, sweep that right leg back, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Exhale, chest press. Release the hips. Again, locust pose, head, chest, and legs rise. Exhale, release down. Curl the toes under, bring the knees forward, hips up, push up, and back to downward facing dog. Once you're here, left leg lifts, and step it through, help it forward. Back knee to the floor, and let's come into our crescent lunge. Good. Changing things up a little bit here. Hands to the floor, straighten the left leg, pull the left toes toward you. And breathe. Good. Inhale, rock forward and step forward, standing forward fold. Palms to shins, halfway up, inhale. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. And palms to the heart. One more time. Inhale, sweep down and up. Exhale, fold forward, halfway. And fold down, step the right foot back, knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Beautiful. Exhale, hands to the floor, straighten the left knee, pull the toes toward you. And we're going to stay for a little bit longer this time. So about 5 deep, slow breaths. Keep pulling the left toes towards you. Think about the left hip bone drawing back behind you. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, take the left leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale down onto hands and knees. Chest press. Releasing the hips. When you're ready, ground the hips. Lift the head, chest, and the legs. Exhale, float down. Curl the toes under, bring the knees forward, hips up, push up, and back. Downward facing dog. All right, right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step that right foot between the hands, help it through, knee to the ground. Inhale, crescent lunge. And then exhale, hands to the floor, straighten the right leg, pull the toes towards you. Again, about 5 deep breaths here. Think about drawing the right hip bone back behind you. Keep the right foot flexed and breathe. One more breath here. And then inhale, rock forward, step forward, standing forward fold. Pressing palms to shins, come halfway up. Exhale, fold back down. And then inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. And palms to your heart. Feeling sensation. Good. So from the standing position right now, I'm just going to fold right back into that standing forward fold. So hinge at the hips and fold down. Now again, allow the knees to be a little bit bent here. You can just hang here if you'd like to. I'm going to offer some variations if you'd like. If you feel like you have the access or the stretching or flexibility in the backs of the legs and your lower back, you might be able to wrap your forearms around the backs of your legs and just give a gentle tug. Don't force it too much here, but just drawing the heart closer to the thighs. And if that's not accessible for you, you can just hang forward. Just let gravity do the work for you. You're still getting a good stretch. Good. Now, when you're ready, bring the hands to the floor if they're not already, and step back to downward facing dog. And then inhale, float down onto hands and knees, and then sit back into a seat and bring your legs out in front of you. I like transitions. I have to tell you how to get there. All right. So we're going to do a little bit more work here. We've been working specifically with the lower back and with the legs tonight. We did some stuff for the shoulders and neck earlier too. Nice little cherry on the cake here. But we're going to do a little bit more to stretch your lower back because we've been doing a lot of back bending and I want to help balance that out for you. So we're going to be sitting with the legs extending forward. And if you do this and you notice that your lower back starts to round, I want you to bring some support underneath your hips. And so what I'm going to do to help with that is to take a thick folded blanket, like I always have for yoga, and I'm just going to sit on it. And this helps me sit up just a little bit taller here. Okay. I recommend having a nice thick folded blanket nearby. Okay. So with your legs extending forward, you're going to identify your left leg and take the left leg out to the side about 45 degrees, okay? Your right foot He's going to come into the inner thigh, knee bending. Good. Now, something that happens here once we get into this pose is the flesh of the seat starts to tuck under. And so what you can do to help make sure you sit up as tall as you can is reach back and widen the flesh of your seat back. It creates kind of a kickstand. It kind of works nice that way. Good. Now sit up as tall as you can here. Flex the left foot. And with your exhale, turn your navel toward the left foot and spend another breath or two reinforcing that rotation in the spine. Good. Now keep your chest and navel pointing toward the left foot, and I'd like you to bring your arms into the air. And if this is too much on your shoulders, do cactus arms instead, okay? But take a deep breath in. With your exhale, hinge at your hips. Extend forward out over the left leg about 45 degrees or halfway. Then inhale, come all the way back up. And then exhale, folding about halfway again. Inhale back up a couple more times. Exhale. Inhale back up. And then exhale, extend to that 45-degree mark, that halfway point, and stop. Good. Now our goal here is to keep the arms by the ears. And what that's doing is keeping your back flat. We're not rounding excessively in the back here. We're keeping the heart the most forward thing on your body, or your upper body. Now from here, bring the hands down onto the leg. Don't worry about the foot. We're not stretching the shoulders right now. And this might be as far as you go tonight. And that's completely fine. If you do have the accessibility in your hips and in your lower back, you might be able to fold a bit closer to the leg, but make sure that's happening from the abdomen and chest and not from the shoulders and head, because it might be easier to tuck the chin and just drop down here, but this isn't doing anything. That's not stretching anything. Keep the shoulders working down the back as you fold over that left leg. And of course, we're breathing here. Staying for about 2 more breaths. And then with your next inhale, walk your hands back, carefully come up and uncross, feel sensation. Maybe the eyes want to stay closed. Now, before we do the other side, I'm going to ask you to keep your right leg where it's at right now and bring your left leg forward and bend the knee. Okay? We're just going to do a quick twist. So take your right hand, actually, I'll take your left hand. So your left knee that's bent, your left hand that goes behind your back. And then reach your right arm up, inhale. Exhale, sweep that arm across, hook the knee, and twist, looking over your left shoulder. Breathe. And then inhale, carefully unwind and extend both legs forward. All right, so let's go ahead and feel what that feels like on the other side. So take your right leg this time out to the side about 45 degrees, all right? Left foot comes into the inner thigh. We reach back and widen the flesh of the seat a little bit so that we're sitting as forward on the sits bones as we can. Nice and tall spine. Good. And then take a deep breath in, and with your exhale, turn your navel and chest toward that right leg. And it might take a couple of breaths to really achieve that directional movement. Some gentle rotation in the spine. And then keep the upper body oriented toward the right foot. Lift your arms up by your ears or do cactus arms. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge at your hips, come forward about halfway. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale again, come about halfway forward. A couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale about halfway forward and stay. And again, we're shooting straight up out of the spine, straight at a 45-degree angle. The back is nice and flat. And staying here, bring your hands down onto the leg. Again, grabbing the foot is not important here. We're not stretching the shoulders, nor do we need to. We did that already. And you can stay here again if you'd like to. This is a perfectly good stretch for you. If you have the access in your lower back and in the right hamstring, the back of the leg, you can begin to fold closer to the leg, but make sure that's happening from the abdomen and your chest and not from your head. No nose diving. Keep the back flat. And keep breathing, of course. Two more breaths. With your next inhale, walk the hands back, coming back up to a tall spine. Feel sensation. Then taking a deeper breath, opening your eyes, coming back. And before you move this left leg, bring the right foot flat to the floor, knee is bent. And with the right knee bent, bring your right hand behind your back. Lift the left arm up, inhale. And exhale, sweep that left arm around and twist, looking over your right shoulder, staying for about 3 to 4 deep breaths. Good. Inhale, carefully unwind. All right. So we're going to do another forward fold here. And I'm going to ask you to bring the soles of your feet together in butterfly. Good. Now, if you don't already have support underneath your hips, you might want to bring it here now if you have it available nearby. Because our goal, again, is to have a tall spine and not to round excessively. So adding an inch or two to the spine with some blankets or props can be quite helpful here. Now, as far as your hand position, you can hold on to the shins, your ankles, or if you have long arms or flexibility, you might be able to hold on to the pinky edge of the feet or the toes. But either way, sit up as tall as you can, even if your knees are up high, it's okay. And just feel the length in the spine as the knees fold outwards as far as they can go tonight. And then breathe. Nice, tall, strong spine, shoulders rolling down the back. And a cue that I give you quite often here is hinge at the hips. So it's just like a door hinge. The two sides stay flat, and there's a flexion point at the hinge itself, at the pin. Your hips are that flexion point. So keep the back flat. The hips will stay where they're at because of the floor. And just start to draw your chest forward. Now, if your back starts to round, you've gone too far. Back up to the point where you can keep the back side of that hinge flat. And it's okay if you only go forward a little bit. You're still getting a good stretch in the hips and the back. Again, if you start to feel excessive rounding, especially in the upper back, if you start to do a nose dive, back up to the point where you can maintain that flat spine. And you might find that over time, you're able to go further, but that's not the goal here. The goal is to feel a stretch. And that'll look different in different bodies. One more breath here. Then inhale, sit back up. Beautiful job. All right, now is our time to rest. So go ahead and come to lay down on your yoga mat. If you want to, you can use that blanket from earlier as a pillow. You could also use it as a blanket. It does that too. But come to lay on down. And take your time with that transition. But as you do come onto your back, allow your body to uncross. So your heels are about a foot to a foot and a half away from one another. The toes flopping out to the sides. This allows your hips to relax. Your arms are resting to your sides, wrists about a foot away from your hips, palms face up. This allows your shoulders to continue to relax. And let there be some gentle space between the rows of teeth. No clenching of the jaw. Relax the eyes and forehead and settle on in. And the goal here of this relaxation is just that, to relax. No effort. No effort in your body. Soften. And sometimes when the body gets still, the mind starts getting activated. So if you start feeling yourself being pulled toward your to-do list or something else, just abandon that thought for now and just let your mind relax. Just be present with the body resting here.
peace, peace, peace. Please begin to take a deeper, fuller breath and invite some gentle movement back into your body, the hands and feet, the arms and legs. And know that if you need more rest, you can always return to resting. For now, when you're ready, roll to your right side and transitioning up to a seat. Good. Now, once you've made it to a seat, and continue to take your time if you're still making your way there, but when you're there, bring your palms to your heart and lower your chin. And just honor yourself, you, for the work you've done here tonight. You showed up, you did the practice, you efforted, you benefited. So, gratitude to yourself, from yourself, for yourself. And may all of that effort and this practice continue to serve you. So, until next time, namaste.